false flag operations. You attack your own people. You blame another country or another group that you already had reasons to want to attack. Hitler did this when he was ready to attack Poland. That's how World War II got started. Japan did it when they were ready to attack Manchuria.
But is there another reason for bombing Afghanistan? With worldwide demand for oil increasing and some of the Gulf states looking very vulnerable, the US is desperate to tap the oil fields of Kazakhstan and other central states. And as ITN's economic correspondent Lian Halligan now explains, Afghanistan is key when it comes to moving that oil to the West.
So where does it all come from? Saudi Arabia, of course, is the biggest exporter, over 7 million barrels every day. Iran, Iraq and Kuwait are big players too.
The FBI has confirmed that they have no hard evidence relating Osama bin Laden to the events of 9/11. Are you aware of that?
Well, Osama bin Laden himself claims that. I mean, they didn't manufacture those tapes.
This is the FBI, Ollie. This is the FBI that has affirmed in the last couple of weeks they have no hard evidence tying Osama bin Laden to 9/11. We're trying to find out exactly what happened. Our government has a considerable reputation for telling things that are not true.
We have not seen one piece of evidence that links Osama bin Laden and the Taliban directly to the planning stages of September 11th.
And the time that flight ever left the U.S., we knew, A, for a fact, Osama bin Laden had nothing to do with it, and B, the people on that flight had no information pertinent to the investigation.
The government released a tape, allegedly of bin Laden confessing to the attacks of September 11th, which they claim to find in a house in Kandahar, Afghanistan. Except there's a number of things wrong with this tape. The tape itself is of very poor quality. And 2, the man in the video looks and acts nothing like bin Laden. Compare this video to 4 other pictures of bin Laden. Does anybody else see a problem here?
But in the course of soliciting and sort of managing those investments, the Bush family had direct contact with the bin Laden family during the 1990s.
First of all, that's not true with us and bin Laden. But let's look at the facts. He worked for Ronald Reagan. He was loyal to him. He worked for George H.W. Bush. He was loyal to him. He worked for me, and he was loyal to me. He worked for President Bush. He was loyal to him. They downgraded him and the terrorist operation.
War on terrorism, which is the main justification for waging a war of conquest, which is clearly acknowledged in military and national security documents. That war on terrorism is fabricated.
The government has never even tried to prove it's a OBL story. It's a fiction. The 9/11 Commission never tried to prove it. You cannot prove a lie. There's your problem.
The 9/11 hijackers are alive and well. That's according to the chief of Japan's Democratic Party, who says 9/11 is a hoax.
So what about the hijackers? It's the funniest thing, but at least 9 of them are still alive.
Now, more on the latest building collapse in New York. You might have heard a few moments ago I was talking about the Salomon Brothers building collapsing. And indeed it has. Apparently that's only a few hundred yards away from where the World Trade Center towers were. And it seems that this was not a result of a new attack. It was because the building had been weakened during this morning's attacks. We'll probably find out more now about that from our correspondent Jane Stanley. Jane, what more can you tell us about the Salomon Brothers building and its collapse?
As you can see behind me, the Trade Center appears to be still burning. We see these huge clouds of smoke and ash, and we know that behind that there's an empty piece of what was a very familiar New York skyline, a symbol of the financial prosperity of this city. But
हमने इस बिल्डिंग को इस तरीके से डिजाइन किया कि किसी भी हिस्से पे अगर बोइंग 707 टकराए तो उसका असर नहीं होगा। ये बिल्डिंग अनेक जेट लाइनर्स के हमले को बर्दाश्त करने की ताकत रखती थी।
"47 huge steel columns going up the core. They're interconnected. How do you get them to fail simultaneously so the core disappeared? It looks like those core columns were cut."
अब तक कोई भी बिल्डिंग आग से बर्बाद नहीं हुई थी। वर्ल्ड ट्रेड सेंटर की जांच एक बनी बनाई कहानी है। यूनिवर्सिटी ऑफ शेफील्ड ने कहा कि स्टील फ्रेम बिल्डिंग जेट फ्यूल से कहीं ज्यादा तापमान पर भी नहीं पिघलती। साइंस कहती है कि फ्लाइट क्रैश से ज्यादा 1800 डिग्री फ़ारेनहाइट तापमान पैदा करता है, जबकि स्टील फ्रेम बिल्डिंग को पिघलाने में 2500 डिग्री फ़ारेनहाइट की जरूरत होती है। साइंस का ये सनसनीखेज खुलासा है कि बिल्डिंग में विस्फोटक लगाए गए थे और बिल्डिंग पे अटैक बता के उसे गिरा दिया गया।